about time for an update on the beautiful Buick here. We have done quite a bit to it. You can look at it. What we're down to is getting the lighting working, the wipers working, and a little bit of ignition switch issue, and then final adjustments on the carb, ignition timing, and points. So if you ever wanted a very robust vehicle, this is definitely it. This is about as mechanical as you can get without going into a mechanical diesel. So that point adjustment and ignition timing, those are mechanical settings that you really need to make sure that they're in good shape. And so we're going to do that. We're also going to do a final adjustment on the carb. When you do the final adjustment on the carb, you can get them pretty close without the air filter on them, but you really want the air filter, the box, whatever it is, intact to do your adjustment on the carb. So we're getting close there. There's some vacuum situation stuff that I still need to work through, cap off, reroute, etc. There's been some different things that were not factory done to it. Really, fuel injection would be my recommendation, or maybe even an LS swap with a 5.3 or 6 liter in this thing would be so cool. Not that the big block 455 is not cool, but I like the drivability of fuel injection, but that's my preference. The owner of this vehicle can, maybe they like old school, who knows. Some of the things we ran into and have been working through is quite a bit of voltage drops throughout the wiring on this. When you have an older car, it's got older wiring in it. Some of the easy stuff is the element was completely burned out. I've got a new headlight coming here, and then I've got a high beam out here, and I've got a low beam out on that side. So we're gonna get that taken care of. They're on their way, should be here today. Like I said, doing some underhood work. A little bit of work for the battery tray. There's just some rodent damage or rodent memorabilia down there, if you will. Just kind of doing this as a battery tender. Absolutely for the money. This is the best battery charger that I've ever bought. I have several of them. Love this guy. A lot of the bulbs, we're replacing a majority of the bulbs. This one's just got some crud on it. I'm not sure what happened there. And this one's just got terrible corrosion on it, and so it wouldn't light at all. We're trying to clean the female side of the socket because as you can see how much is on the male side of the bulb. The female side of the socket's going to have that, so we're trying to work through that. We do have the wipers. This is just the stem where the wiper goes. They work on high only, and that will at least pass inspection and work. I'm trying to find a wiper switch. I have yet to be able to find one of those, so still working through that. There's some other videos. I love these door handles. Some other videos on the channel here. We spent a lot of time up under the dash and had some voltage drops at the fuse box, contact issues at the brake light switch. So just a lot of this stuff needs to be used. The washer switch may start working, and it's kind of right in there. If it's used, I have found maybe possibly some used ones on eBay, but they're like $300 for a used one that's probably not any better than this one. So I really feel like they need to work. We did get the horn working. Hopefully I can maybe... So what I figured out is this part of the contact isn't working, but the horn is working, so I don't know how deep down the rabbit hole we want to get there, but that is operational. We did put the seat belts in there. With the new molding that we put in here, you just got to give it the old car door effort, if you will. So we got the brake lights working, the tail lights working, the marker lights. There just wasn't a bulb in some of those, so just kind of running down. It just takes time when you're doing something like this, but I figured it was time for an update. So this is our kind of situation or update where we're at. What am I waiting on? A couple of headlights, a couple of small things, and still hunting some parts. The ignition switch doesn't return super well. I'm still planning that maybe if it just gets used, it'll start to actually work a little bit better. So a lot of this just needs to be used. I'm hesitant to pull the column apart on it because once we do that, If I need any parts that I can't find or parts break, you know, we'll have to have that discussion of whether we get into that, but we're just about the point for the final adjustments on it. I'd say I probably got 25 to 30 hours worth of time in this so far. So we're going to be at the point that it's going to drive and run under its own power. It does that now, but you can actually drive it versus kind of sitting on a bucket. So this is our update on our beautiful Buick.